Hi everyone, you're very welcome to our channel NarcCon. And if it's your first time here or you're new to the channel, you're so welcome to the community and feel free to contribute in the comments. The comments are fantastic in this group. We learn a lot from each other. So feel free to engage and get the support you need there in one way. Today is the middle of the holiday season for anybody that may be watching this podcast further down the line. And I have made a few podcasts in relation to no contact, and I've even made one recently. But because of the season that we're in, I would like to go into the details of what no contact is, what is and how you can achieve gold level no contact. And that is a term I have coined because there are different levels of pulling away from a narcissist or going no contact, and everybody has a different idea of that, generally starting off. So for the purposes of the time of year that we're in, I would like to get into the details of that for anybody that would like a refresher course in no contact and what it means and why we should do it, or why it's a good idea to at least look at that as an option for yourself on the healing journey. Before we get into the podcast, I would like to, I suppose, give a reflection, go into a reflection on where we're all at and why this element of healing is so essential. And this has come up a few times in coaching recently. If you can take a moment and sit with yourself in reflection on the years spent with the narcissist. And this isn't a regret. I don't want you to go into a negative, I've wasted time, I've done this, I've done that. This is for anybody who's even contemplating still interacting with the narcissist who has caused them an awful lot of destruction in their life. Look back and think, if you had not been with the narcissist, what would you have been doing in that time? And look forward at your life purpose and understand that the way evil works is to distract you from what you were put here, what you were born to do. They want to distract and waste your time. Don't look at that negatively now. Look at it as a positive if you've come to the realization that what you need to do now, you will do, and not allow yourself be distracted by anyone that wants to destroy you and keep you going around in loops to a pointless relationship that only sucks your energy out of you and takes you away from what you were actually here to do and negates your journey to happiness. With that said, the narcissist knows you and me and everybody that they interact with very, very well in relation to how they can manipulate us. They do not know us at the essence of our soul. Having recovered from the relationship with a narcissist, you understand that because you understand all aspects of yourself, both good and bad, but you get a better feeling of who you are at a soul level. And if you reflect from the time you thought this narcissist knew you better than anyone else, they never knew that part. They just knew your emotional roadmap as to how to manipulate you best. And that was reflected back to you as they know you better than anyone in your whole life ever knew you. And therefore they loved you more than anyone in your whole life ever loved you. And that's a total falsehood that keeps us trapped in that relationship. And it's evil. It keeps us distracted from our purpose in life. And it's a falsehood. Now, there are many falsehoods the narcissist has programmed into our hard drive. I always refer to what they do to us, like getting into our brain and putting a virus in it. So our brain is still functioning in the same way it always has, except the information that's input into it is false. So in order for us to heal and recover after a narcissist, we need to get that virus, that viral software out of our brain. No contact, no input is the key to our healing, is the key to speeding our healing along, is the key to getting rid of the virus, installing antiviral software, and getting back to the real program of our mainframe, our soul, and our very being, and why we're here on this earth and what we're here to do. So to me, not going, full gold standard level, no contact, is going to prolong the healing process. It's like putting your finger in the wound and opening it up each time it's closed over a bit. And let's now get into what gold standard no contact is, and things you might not have thought were actually, still being in contact with the narcissist. So let's start with what most people in the beginning, that haven't been on our channels for a long time and just have a normal understanding of, well, if I'm not to be in contact with this person, I just won't take their calls and, I won't have anything to do with them. And that's a very, very basic no contact. But it is not going to help you heal, because narcissists are notorious for either contacting you again, turning up at places that you may be, like in supermarkets or stores or wherever you go, sending family members in as flying monkeys to check up what your emotional roadmap is at the moment as to whether you're hooverable or what they can get from you, or etc., etc. So just saying to yourself, well, I won't read their texts, or I won't take their calls, or even some people just think no contact is an understandable, and this is what I thought at first, I won't contact them. That's no contact. Yes, indeed. Not contacting them is an integral part of no contact. But the other side of no contact, where you are not going to allow interference with your healing, you're not going to allow the trigger from the narcissist to set off those neural pathways in your brain back into ruminating, back into thinking, why do they do that? Why are they now doing this? All those thoughts keep you distracted, and they're evil. It's evil. They keep you in an energy field that you cannot escape from if they keep fueling it by triggering it, by re-engaging with the viral software that they put into your mainframe. You can't escape it. It's pretty obvious. You cannot escape it if it keeps getting triggered. You need a cleansing from this nastiness, from these energy suckers, whatever you like to call them, from the darkness that is keeping you from your light path, your purpose in your life. So get on with it, Paula. What is gold standard no contact? 1, you don't contact the narcissist. 2, you block them. You block them. You block them on every avenue that's open to you. Electronically is the first port of call. If you do share children with them and you're co-parenting with them, you leave one form open, and that can be email. And you do not respond or reply to anything except what is going to be to do with childcare arrangements. And if that's too problematic, you get somebody else to pass that information on to you. It's hard. It's not easy. But most things I have found in life that are hard are more worthwhile when you achieve them. So you block them on social media. You also do not put anything up on your social media that could be accessed by any person, by a family member of theirs, by an acquaintance of theirs, by someone you don't even know that can just pop in on your social media and give them the information. You don't put up memes about how life can be very sad. You don't put up any kind of thing that gives narcissists any indication of how you may be feeling. Because as I've said it before in even the last few podcasts, they pick up on a single word and they can pinpoint how you're actually feeling energetically. And because they know your emotional roadmap, they can fit it in place. They know exactly where you're at, and they know if you're still going to be amenable, to a consistency where they hoover consistently, whether they feel if they can convince you, they'll break you down, whether you are still pliable in any way. They can pick up on, as I was corrected, I think it's the minutiae, the minutiae. I don't know how to pronounce that word, but somebody kindly corrected me in the comments the last time I used it. But I think you know what I mean. On the very smallest detail, they can hone in. The other part of no contact is, and this is very hard to do, but you do not talk about the narcissist unless it's to a therapist or coaching or one or two extremely good friends or family members who would, you can trust not to say anything. Because any information that goes out there is going to be of value to a narcissist. Even if you say, Paula, the narcissist is no more interested in me than the man in the moon. The narcissist has to be interested in you because you're a former primary source of supply. They may give the impression that they'd let somebody go even for 10 years. You're always going to be an option for the narcissist. So they're always going to be, their ears will prick once they hear your name if you come up into their consciousness, no matter what they're doing. They're not totally in love with somebody else. They're never in love with anybody other than themselves. And they don't do a very good job of being in love with themselves either, because they usually scupper any chance they have of continuity and happiness because of their malignant narcissism. It's always saying destroy, take down, be greedy, want more. It's all based around badness. That's the only way I can describe it. And the next podcast is going to be looking at the evil element of narcissism and looking at the historical evidence of narcissism on our planet. So that's for another day. That's for the next day. Getting back to the no contact, the next level of not talking about them to somebody that you just don't know if you can trust or not is the fact that the more you talk about them, the more they're in your mind as well. The more they're in your mind as well. And, you may kind of say, it is so difficult. If I don't talk about it, it's going around and round in my head. I can't sleep. I understand it. Believe me, I get it. Oh my God, believe me, I get it. If you find yourself at that level and you want to go gold level no contact, what I would suggest is that you write it down. You give yourself some space and you say, okay, brain, I'm going to get this output. I can't keep these thoughts ruminating in my brain. I need to get them out. If I can't talk about it, I'll write it down, put your journal away and focus on something else, even if it's extremely difficult and the rumination thought comes again. This will get better. The more you practice each level of no contact, I promise you, it is literally like a fog lifts from your environment and yourself. It is astounding. One day you wake up and you haven't thought about the narcissist for 5 minutes. And if you say that to a stranger, they may kind of giggle and think, oh my God, that's, you're seriously obsessed. There's something wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. Your brain is simply really scrambling to unravel the fake information that your normal healthy thought processes took in as being reality. Imagine having to unscramble all of that. So if you have 5 good minutes where you didn't think about the narcissist, you can have 10 good minutes where you don't think about the narcissist, and it is incremental. But if the narcissist comes back in, if there's contact, if they can reach you in any way, that sets you back. That sets the wiring off again. And if there haven't been the downloading of new information, and if it hasn't been repeated in your head, and if there hasn't been a block established to the virus, if there hasn't been enough antiviral software put in, as well as your reprogramming of yourself, it can set the program back and you have to reboot again. So be very aware that even though you may not think that it's important to not have any information, going into your brain in relation to not being in gold standard no contact, it can do a hell of a lot of damage, and it is far more significant, and it is the best tool. It's far more significant than you might think, and it's the best tool for a speedier healing process and a more thorough healing process where your essence, energy, soul, and brain can be involved in making a new life for yourself. And it is that dramatic after a narcissist. You actually want to change everything nearly. It's like a clean sweep. The demon's gone. The demons are out of your house. You can have clarity of thought. You can work on your own things that you did wrong. But it's exciting once you get through the pain barrier. And getting through the pain barrier is greatly, if not essentially, assisted by going gold level, no contact. The other thing that is highly important, and people wouldn't initially think it's no contact, is you don't look for information about the narcissist. I think this is probably the hardest one to break. And, if you can't do it all in one go, if you can't get to the gold level all in one go, do what you can at the beginning stages. Do basic no contact. Do brass level no contact, where you block the narcissist maybe, but you're still looking at their social media or you're still talking about them. Then go to silver level no contact. Stop talking about them. And then go to the gold level no contact, is where you don't look for information about them as to how they are now doing. Because believe you me, the human element of us wants to see them not doing well after what they've put us through, after the cruelty, after the deception, after the maybe financial or physical abuse, after trying to ruin our children's lives, after devastating us and our family and our children. It is very, very human to want to see a narcissist doing badly. I can guarantee you they will do badly, but they may do very, very strong deflection on that. They may put in a very good PR campaign so that their lives seem wonderful. They can never, it's like a disordered person with all this dark energy. They can never have a wonderful life or make it really happy, but they can make it appear to be wonderful and really happy. So if you can give yourself that closure without seeking, proof or looking at the social media, and of course they're going to be vamping that up. They're not going to tell you the truth on social media. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people actually do, to be honest with you. The social media in itself seems, I suppose, a bit narcissistic in that, well, we all want to show that we're happy and we have been to a nice event or we're on vacation. And whereas it's nice to share that with friends and family, whatever, some people do take it to the next level, I suppose, and say, oh, I'm in the 5-star hotel. And, anyway, look, that can be for entertainment purposes. But narcissists are going to use that as their own personal PR machine. So you're never going to see the truth there anyway. So looking at it and looking at a narcissist who's maybe in the doldrums, in the total pits of despair, depression, they go and post, hi, on social media and you're going, you don't know what went on before that moment and what went on after that moment. But it may trigger you into thinking, oh, they're doing really well. How can this be? It's not fair. There's no justice. And people will leave in comments saying, you're wrong, my narcissist is doing great. Maybe they are for a time, but it's not going to last. Okay, so I think that if you can fully grasp, and it takes a while in the healing journey, how important it is to, I suppose, as a principle to healing, the most important thing is to go no contact. That's on the one hand. In the middle of that, there's rewiring your brain and being determined to make up for time where you were distracted from your life purpose, and then work on what is your life purpose. Some people immediately know it and know that if they hadn't given those last few years to the narcissist, they would be much further ahead on their life purpose. Other people seek it out. And that's something coaching can help with. When you establish where you want to go in your life, even if it's a dream at the moment, how do you get nearer that dream in small incremental steps? All of this is what gets you to, I think, a different paradigm, literally, after you've been with a narcissist and gone through all that. CRAP is the most polite way to put it. So that's how, in essence, you achieve gold level contact. And I suppose if you want to get to platinum level, but this will come when you get to gold and you're there for any length of time, it's where your head does not have a thought of the narcissist for a whole single day and then a whole single week. And you are so enthusiastic and energetic and involved in your own life that you now have and you love, and you have totally rewired your brain. There's no possibility of a thought of the narcissist. And if one does come in, you go, oh my God, no way, Jose, no way, Jose. And you think, I was a different person back then, because I've learned and grown so much since that. Guys, that's it for now. We will be back with that other podcast in viewing narcissism from a particular culture. We're going to view it from the Scandinavian culture and how narcissism has always been there. And we're going to talk about that for anyone that would be interested. So really look after yourselves. We'll see you again soon. If you're in a cold climate like us, keep warm and stay safe. I see my co-producer is moving there, so I guess we're going to have to go outside for a little walkies. Take care, everyone. Bye for now. See you again soon.